What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Last Give podcast. I'm Ace, and he's right this way. There you go. You know, he could do his own introduction, right?
Dude, I've been doing every single introduction
Fine.
every other
He's
night.
he's the USF National Alumni President Flash, and today we have a full pack episode. We have the NHL back actually today. First time in a couple of weeks we've had them because we got some big news coming out from MLB free agency and the NHL season update. You know, it's already been almost 8 weeks into the season already, so thought we'd give them back a shot at it. We're gonna react to the college football playoff rankings, all these head coaches moving around. They play musical chairs. It feels like sometimes, but I have a feeling the NFL is gonna top
We
that
got
this
some
week with
question.
the
There's
this
some
year with the
questionable
quarterbacks.
moves, and we want to know what happened and why a certain team hired a certain coach. I want to know about that. We'll talk about that in the college football section as well. Yeah, my Seabirds let me down again. We'll talk about that as well. Aces is going through his fields with the Saints again, as always. And yeah,
Well, they're
everything is
not as
normal.
pathetic as the
The
Seahawks.
Buccaneers win a game, as we all knew was going to happen. And yeah, that's really it. Hit it, peeps.
No, let's like,
Oh
share,
yeah. Oh,
subscribe.
like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, spread the word.
An
We are
update: there
back.
is no running gun tomorrow because we are on we finished our season last week. We'll be back in January. Sadly, since FAMU's football season's come to end, no more JP breakdowns on the games. I'm sure he'll find something else though to give you content. He'll probably pop in here and there on the show today to give his thoughts on some issues that have came up around, especially some bad issues I think that happened in the FAMU Southeastern
Yeah,
Louisiana game.
there was
There's
some
some
stuff that
bad
went
stuff that happened
down
there.
that went down with fans and it involves kids and families. We will talk about that and express how shameful it was on the other fan base. But with all that happened, hit
Hit
it.
it.
All right, so let's just kick this
Let's do
off.
the
I'm just gonna say
kickoff.
this right now. The Seabirds are done this season. They're just done.
Oh
Russell Wilson
yeah.
is not in it. I think ever since that surgery, I don't think he's not even completely accurate. I think he's just messing around. I don't think he's not even taking things seriously. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as that. I am just completely disappointed in my Seahawks that we lost to a team without a mascot, for crying out loud.
Without a name, not a mascot. They
Without a
didn't even have a
name and a
name.
mascot. They lost to the football team.
Football team.
The football team. And also, what the hell happened with Russell Wilson since that finger surgery? I mean, I know he might be still hurt. I mean, should I probably point that out a little bit? He probably is still hurt, but he's playing through the pain.
I
At this point,
mean,
I would rather see Geno Smith at this point if Russell Wilson's going to play that bad. If he's going to play that bad, I mean, it's a bit extreme. I know it's a bit extreme.
there was an interesting stat I saw that J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson had combined more touches, 48, than the Seattle Seahawks offense had plays.
Also, prayers up
to
for
45.
McKissick.
So
That did not look good at all. Prayers up for that man.
yeah, prayers up for J.D. McKissick. But I was just saying, even with McKissick getting injured, the Seahawks didn't even. They had less plays on total offense than the football team had. Running backs had.
The only thing that came out good out of that night was that Blitz Boy had his second pick of the season.
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic that Blitz Boy has 0 sacks.
It was not even a direct pick too. It was just a toss up. I mean, a pick is a pick, but still, that is the only thing that good that came out of that. I just
It's still pathetic. He has now got more career interceptions than Vince Wilfork. So I mean, that's pretty pathetic still.
All right, let's keep it moving, Ace. I don't want to.
Yeah, all right. Who's our next rant topic?
Let's talk about your Saints.
Oh God, what's not to talk about? I don't know who's more pathetic right now, the Seabirds or the Saints. I mean,
Seabirds.
Saints got a reason
Actually,
for being
no, no,
bad.
no. I'll take that back. The Saints with Trevor Siemian is worse than the Seahawks. I'll say that much. But
Whoa,
if,
whoa,
if
whoa!
Taysom
What happened to
if
my
Taysom
thing
Hill
here?
comes back, the
There we
Seahawks
go.
are way worse. I'll
They
just say that
say
right
Taysom
now.
Hill's gonna start. It's looking very likely that Taysom Hill's gonna
I
start.
mean, you might as well start Taysom Hill at this point because
I want
Trevor
to start Ian
Siemian is.
Book. Forget Taysom Hill. I want to start Ian Book.
I thought you were for Taysom Hill a few weeks ago. Ace, what happened?
For a few weeks ago, but then I realized he got that contract, and if he starts enough games, he's gonna get paid $22.5 million, and that's a
Oh,
no. No, no, no. We want Ian Book. Just stall enough time to decide between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
all right, stank bastard. You hear this? If you want the Saints to do miserable even more, let's have Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill start.
I forget that thing, bastard. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Lamar. I mean, what the hell with the Ravens, man? He throws
I thought
4 picks coming off his
I mean, keep.
illness again, and they still somehow managed to win because they have the greatest of all time at kicker, Justin Tucker. No offense, Adam Vinatieri. You won Tom Brady 3 Super Bowls. We won't get into that, but still, or 2 Super Bowls. But still, Justin Tucker is still one. Well, he's top 2, maybe not 2 at the kicker position all time. So
It's debatable between him and Vinatieri. Vinatieri has some insane.
Vinatieri's won Super Bowls, so that's the one thing Tucker hasn't got yet.
Well, I mean, football is a team sport, all right. I mean, you could say Super Bowl is this, Super Bowl that, but Super Bowl is not as crazy as relying on a kicker.
Yeah, I mean, if the quarterback gets into the 30-yard line and you're down to win the Super Bowl, you kind of need a kicker to hit a field goal.
It's a team sport overall. If we're going,
I know.
Individual accolades. I mean, Justin Tucker should have a say in being number one.
I mean, the Saints lost 3 games this season because they didn't even have a kicker who can hit an extra point. Cough, cough. Brian Johnson sucks. What the hell? Why does my wife keep showing up?
Technical difficulties. Let's talk about our boy Cam Newton, man. That boy Cam Newton's health faded. That boy Cam Newton faded worse than Christian McCaffrey's health. Like,
no, it's not his health that faded. It's his
playing versus McCaffrey's health.
Yeah. You kind of ruined it there, bud. You ruined it.
I botched it worse than Cam Newton's game because Cam Newton went for 5 for 20 something as a quarterback. How could you go 5 for 20 something as a quarterback? Like at that point, I'm surprised I didn't even hear news that Cam Newton has gotten cut yet. I thought he would have gotten cut.
Nah, they said he's still the starter.
A starter still. Interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
the Panthers are gonna be done this season. They've lost every game without McCaffrey. They're done.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think Cam Newton is the same guy anymore. I think at this point you'll probably see him.
He hasn't been the same guy since he had the shoulder injury back in 2018.
Yeah, he hasn't been the same since. I mean, at this point, we're going to see Cam Newton on the SEC network with Tim Tebow soon enough.
Back to where it all began. Newton and Tebow.
SEC.
All right, let's. You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about how savage Davante Adams is, man. Did you see what he said about Odell?
No, I did not, but I know for a fact Davante Adams owned Jalen Ramsey as he.
Aaron Rodgers with a broken toe owned Jalen Ramsey.
Dude, Davante Adams is like the only receiver out there that we could guarantee to probably beat Jalen Ramsey in a head-to-head right now. I mean, it could probably change come playoff times, but right now.
Oh, Davante owned him in the playoffs last year.
I know that, but I'm saying that Davante Adams is the only wide receiver to have head space inside Jalen Ramsey's head. And if you're Jalen Ramsey, you must be super pissed. Because with all that arrogance you've been doing off the field, and yet you install Davante Adams, it's a red flag. Also, the Rams defense has been suspect a little bit since they got Von Miller. Something I want to point out. Let's just shine a flashlight on that defense real quickly because we gotta expose it a little bit.
Can I do how savage he is now? Come on,
you can.
This is funny. So Odell asked Davante. Davante said this story himself. He said Odell asked him 2 days before the game if he can do a jersey swap with him, right? And Devontae told him, "How about you go get Cooper Kupp's jersey?" Because apparently you wanted to play with him more than me. So, and he ended up with the W too. So,
to be fair though, the Packers did they didn't take the Odell's situation very seriously as they should.
they didn't want to pay him, but that's the Packers in a nutshell.
That's the thing. I mean,
the Packers paid Aaron Jones
I get
for him
Devontae
to
Adams
sign
pulling
AJ
that,
Dillon.
but the Packers organization is at fault for that, not Devontae Adams, and it's not Odell.
I mean, they're the same franchise paying Aaron Jones $13 million to not even get more snaps than AJ Dillon. So, whatever. Moving on. Who's the best team in the AFC right now?
Maybe the Bengals.
Nah.
I might sound a little bit crazy compared to last year, but it really might be the Cincinnati Bengals.
I just can't get over how they lost to the Jets.
That is true. I mean, they did lose to the Jets, but then so did the Titans too with Derrick Henry.
Well, they had no receivers either, but the Bengals lost another game too before Joe Mixon went off onto God mode with 12 touchdowns. Yeah, Bengals lost to Green Bay. They lost to Green Bay too, but
I mean, it looks like when the Bengals is with all cylinders clicking, they might be one of the best teams in the AFC.
Well, the team with the best record right now is the Ravens, but best team like playing wise is the Bengals at the moment.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not that right now.
I think right now, as we speak, the Cincinnati Bengals are the number one team in the AFC.
The Ravens.
No,
they have 3 wins or 3 losses. In terms of playing, yeah.
Yeah, all cylinders being used. The Bengals. Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'm gonna give Lamar Jackson a pass on this past weekend because it's his first game back. I'm not gonna harp on him like how I'm gonna harp on Russell Wilson right now. So I'll give Lamar Jackson his pass for this weekend.
All right, moving on to the Fournette defense, the Bucs defense, and Leonard Fournette carrying them to a dub against the Colts. I had the Colts winning that game, but after who was it who fumbled? It was, or was it intercept? I don't know. The turnover in the second quarter they had, I was like, yep, the Bucs are gonna win because that defense, when they get the turnovers, once the defense started getting the turnovers, the Bucs pretty much have a guaranteed win. You kind of saw with the playoffs too. When they make the plays, the offense gets good field position and they could just take it over easy. Because I don't think the Bucs had many possessions where they would get the kickoff and then march down the field with the touchdown. Most of their points in that third quarter with the comeback with the defense.
What you gotta know as well is that the Colts is also one of the teams that has a Buccaneers kryptonite, which is having a better front on defense. And it did get Tom Brady for a bit too. They had him all messed up for a moment.
Well,
in the beginning of the game, he was very sloppy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was very sloppy. So I mean, if it wasn't Fournette, they might have lost that game. To be honest.
Yep. Want to talk about these Chargers or the Lions?
Also keep in mind, the Colts also have good old Carson Wentz.
Live by Carson Wentz, die by Carson Wentz. That's the motto for the Colts.
Live by Carson Wentz.
What else? Live by Jonathan Taylor, die by.
I mean, hey, maybe the Colts may get a package for Wilson or something. You never know.
Well, they gave up a first already for what's his name, Carson Wentz. So
then never mind, because I know for a fact the Seahawks want to get rid of Wilson. They're going to have to beg for some first.
Well, after this season, I don't even think he's going to get 3 first-round picks for him. They're going to get 3 first-round picks for him.
He has not been good. His value, bro. He's been tanking his value.
Yeah.
We all know.
All right. Before we move on, one last question for you. All right. Who do you,
we didn't talk about the injury bug though.
Yeah,
Dalvin Cook, man. He's only out for 2 weeks. Oh, thank God he's only out for 2 weeks.
We'll be back mid-December. Kamara might be back this week. He's been out for 3 games with his MCL injury.
I really thought Cook was done.
Somebody else. The Browns starting right tackle ruptured his patella. So, you had Dante Jackson for the Panthers go on season-ending IR. You have McCaffrey out for the year. Somebody else who got hurt.
McCaffrey's never healthy for a season, man.
McCaffrey hasn't been healthy since 2019, same as Michael Thomas. for some reason. The two best players in 2019 on offense have been like injury cursed since.
Speaking of Dalvin Cook, we'll talk about his brother later on in the college football segment. In case you all do not know, Dalvin Cook's brother actually plays on the #1 team in America in college football, and that's the Georgia Bulldogs. It's a little fact, and he's also Dalvin Cook's brother also leads that team in running backs touchdowns too. That's a cool little fact you all should know as we talk about college football later on. So, with that being said, let's move on to.
Here we go. We're talking the hybrid segment, but it's an NHL background for this
it's
segment.
a hockey segment first, but let's talk about
we'll do the MLB stuff.
Well, let's do the MLB first.
Mm-hmm.
Starters off Ace.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Some big moves.
Yeah, the Dodgers. The Dodgers lost their two of their top players. This in between 24 hours, they lost their top 2 players. Well, not top 2, but a couple of their top players. Max Scherzer went to the Mets on a 3-year, $130 million deal with an opt-out after the second year.
After
Corey.
The second year.
Yeah, so it's a 3-year deal, and after the second, you can have a player opt-out or whatever. A player option, or in the NBA.
That's interesting.
And then Corey Seager, the shortstop, got 10 years, $32.5 million, or $325 million, not 32.5, $325 million with the Rangers. And the Rays, shockingly, I kind of broke this one for us on last week episode, but I want to go more in depth on this one with Wander Franco getting the 11-year, $182 million deal with the Rays. Because, they don't ever pay anybody.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised the Rays actually paid money.
Well, they've paid their top players before, like Longoria and them, but you've seen a lot of guys like Zobrist and Rodriguez. What's his name? Sean Rodriguez. Remember him? Yeah. They had a couple of guys they didn't want to pay, and they traded them for essentially nothing. It felt like a couple of years back. Yeah, so I was just letting you guys know on those things. What do you have flash about the Dodgers losing some of their big names?
It's going to be a tough season for the Dodgers. I'll tell them that already. LA ain't looking so glamorous anymore in the MLB market, at least.
Them going after the bag.
I want to know though. Do you think the Mets will look better this season, better than Yankees in New York?
They lost a couple guys, I know, but they do have. I think they said 5 Cy Young awards or something like that between their top 2 pitchers now, and 15 All-Star appearances or something.
I mean, something like that could make a big difference.
Yeah, I don't know too much about baseball, but I think they gonna make some noise. They got new ownership. They're gonna make some noise. You got anything on the Wander Franco deal? No. The Rays.
I mean, besides the fact, I'm just wondering how we're gonna make it back to the World Series. That's what I want to know. After that,
I want to see if they're still making it back into Tampa ever.
That's another thing. I mean, right now I'm kind of what to expect from these Rays, and what do we expect as Stu Stillberg? I mean, Montreal doesn't want him, but he still wants them to go to Montreal. I mean,
now that you brought Montreal up, you want to talk about some hockey and that dumpster fire up in Montreal?
What's going on there, Ace? Because I have no clue what's going on.
They got the blowtorch and they burned everything down. Ownership took a blowtorch or a flamethrower, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they burned the entire front office down.
So they burned the entire front office. They burned down the entire office after appearing in the Stanley Cup.
Pretty much. I kind of feel bad for the guys up there in ownership in the front office.
They grab a blowtorch for a completely different reason than the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell me more.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of feel bad for that front office because they started off 6-15 this season, but you got to remember their top 2 players from last year, Weber and Price. They haven't even played a minute for them on for the season. But Weber might not even playing hockey again in his career, and Price coming off of his personal issues and rehab and all that. So I mean, they got put in a tough spot, and I don't know what ownership is trying to do so fast
I
that
think
this early in the season.
I
They're
think
going to head
yeah.
into a rebuild and all that. So
They already were in a rebuild for crying out loud. I mean, all the guys that were making plays were all young, and now they want to rebuild again.
like I
That
said,
makes no sense to me.
dumpster fire.
It makes no sense what the ownership is thinking. Like, I
Who
really
knows?
don't
Maybe
know.
we're just looking at it
I'm
wrong.
I'm gonna have to ask some Montreal fans on what's going on there because I want to know. If you're a Montreal fan, please at me at underscore Aji the Great on Twitter. I want to know what's going on up there because this is it piqued my interest now. I actually want to know. I'm gonna definitely do some digging on it, but I need someone to like tell me what's up because if you have a bunch of young guys that took your team all
Well,
the way
I
down
don't think they're going to
to the
get rid of the young
finals.
guys. I think they're going to get rid of the old guys still on the team.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, Carey. I mean, as we know, Carey Price is he even on that team still?
Oh, he's on the team. He's just like not playing and all that. But
Exactly. Exactly that. I mean, the man. Yeah, I'm speechless on it. I just don't know. I'm gonna have to let that one sink, just sink in my head for a bit. But let's keep it moving. Islanders. What's up with that? A
well,
whole
they're the
team got COVID.
second team for the month to have to postpone games for COVID outbreaks. Or not outbreaks, a whole lot of cases. They don't like the word outbreak apparently. So, but you
It's
know what? You
outbreak.
get the
It's an
point.
outbreak. Let's call it what it is. It's an outbreak. All right. You gotta wonder if this new Amari, what's it called? You
Omicron.
said Omicron
Omicron.
variant has a factor in it because
I don't know. I have no
I
idea
mean
about
there
the
was a
Omicron.
few reported cases of the Omicron variant up in Massachusetts already. So if it's already
Oh,
there in Massachusetts, it's probably around speak right now, possibly in the Tampa Bay area, with the way how people are moving, like it was everything's back. So and
I no. I just find it strange that all these like even in the NFL and the NBA, you see guys popping up with COVID everywhere, and like a whole team
yeah,
had to postpone games from COVID. So it's kind of like an eyebrow raiser or whatever it's called, you
yeah,
know?
I'm raising an eyebrow too. I mean, honestly, you know what? If I'm the NBA, I would probably start taking the precautions, or any major league necessary. I would start taking precautions and limiting out on capacity on the stadiums, and possibly end up spreading out players like how they were last season as well. Because last season was considered a very successful season, even though there wasn't as much going on and all the players were spread out.
Um, all right. What about something very interesting? I think you're gonna like this one. So the Boston Red Sox ownership, right? Fenway Sports Group, they're buying the Penguins, the Pittsburgh Penguins, this year. Like I think the deal's already
I heard
done,
about
if
that.
I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. So yeah, so some Penguins fans are kind of mad because it's a Boston team buying the team, like a Pittsburgh team, and you know Pittsburgh doesn't exactly big fans of
Yeah, I
Boston.
know that.
But
I mean,
there is some people who are or who are happy with the move
hold on.
because
What's that? It says down there? Raise Islander.
what?
Oh, for a second, I nearly on the bottom it says raise Islanders game, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not right. That's MLB and AHL.
They're all different topics, dude. What the hell? All right, you
I
threw
know.
me off there. But anyway, so yeah, there's some people who are happy with the move because they're kind of hopefully will allow like Crosby and them to move on and do whatever they need to do in their careers, and they let the team go in a different direction, like start because they're kind of like talent depleted, but they're still winning games surprisingly, which is yeah, surprise. But
I
anyway,
mean, if you look on the upside, I mean, the Fenway Group is known for winning games and championship,
and they got a whole lot of money.
and a lot of money. So I mean, that's a plus side for the Pittsburgh fan. The downside is you're owned by Boston Sports Group. That's the downside.
Well, they're not Boston based. It's just they own the Red Sox. I think they own like a European team too. I don't know. I think they own more than just the Red Sox.
Yeah. Okay. So then that changes things a bit. I mean, it depends how deep the people take on it. I mean, I'm not sure. I'll definitely ask around some Pittsburgh fans about that, what they think about it. Anyways, let's talk about our boy Steven
They own
Stamkos.
the Red Sox. They own Liverpool, and they own the Penguins.
Liverpool. That's actually another great franchise too. I believe.
So they can win. So that's why I don't think some Penguin fans are mad.
I would not be mad, to be honest, even though they own the Red Sox, but I won't be that mad, I suppose. But Ace, let's talk about our boy Steven Stamkos. I should be wearing my Stamkos
Actually,
jersey.
congrats to Steven Stamkos. He didn't play tonight because he went to go with his wife for the birth of his second child. So congrats to Stan. Stammer got a new kid.
I should be wearing that.
Yeah, you should. No offense, John Moran. He got hurt, but still, Stammer got a new kid. So congrats to him. He's playing on a great pace right now. He's leading the team in points and all that. And I'm just hoping he gets to make Team Canada. I am kind of worried.
We know Ace hates Steven Stamkos.
No, I don't hate Stamkos.
Because Ace said he's a no-show in the playoffs. We know that.
No, he wasn't healthy in the playoffs, and he was a liability at some points.
He said he was a no-show.
He's doing good this year. I stopped hating on him. I just want him to make the Olympics, but I'm kind of worried because it's a former Bruins head coach who's going to coach Team Canada. So
what's wrong? What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I just hope he gets on the team because he's playing. He deserves it. Speaking of other Lightning news, you have Yanni Gourde getting his second ring on Friday. He came back to Tampa with the Kraken, and you should have seen how. Well, they got blown out, but they had a loud ovation for him. I think they said it was the loudest one ever, loudest ever tribute video. Like the arena was just rocking for Yanni Gourde. That was good to hear.
Everyone loves Yanni Gourde. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Everyone loves that guy.
All right. Well, I guess their producer's kind of lagging behind.
I know. Hey, so I need to. How can we talk about the NFL and completely miss out on the topic that Kyler Murray, the league possible MVP?
He ain't gonna win MVP.
He ain't gonna win MVP, but he's in an MVP conversation. It's gonna be back. How can we miss that?
Well,
I quit.
Well, he's back. He's gonna hopeful like 90% likely back, but
no more of what's his name for the
Colt
Seahawks
McCoy Magic.
No more Colt McCoy for the Seahawks to lose to.
But anyway, all right, let's get into this NBA news. Starting off with some injury / COVID news.
I'll let you talk first, all right? I'm kind of tired of talking, so you could talk first.
I'm tired of talking, but I'll keep. No, okay, fine. I'll have the rant about the Magic. But first, Jalen Suggs is out indefinitely with a fractured thumb on a bullshit no call on a foul from Joel Embiid. So he's going to be checked every 2 weeks to see how the bone's healing back. So yeah, he had a up and down start to the season, but defense was good. The offense was slowly coming along. Wasn't expecting that out of him. But let's get into this rant. Man, the Magic got the worst injury luck I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, I think the Saints got it bad this year. Now, the Magic have been having this luck for the last, 3 years, it feels like. They've had the most man-missed games. It's they have, leading the league with, 76 missed games with players on their roster with, guys like Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, Michael Carter-Williams, and some other – there's a couple, Etwan Moore and another guy, right? Anyway, so you've had Fultz out since January 6th, right? That's the day he tore his ACL against Cleveland. You've had Jonathan Isaac. Don't get me started with this man. Magic fans are delusional as hell. They think this man is better than Jaylen Brown. I got a Twitter argument with one of these idiots who thinks so. And I'm like, the man hasn't played basketball in 400 and something days. The man has been constantly hurt in the last 3 years. And enough about the bullshit excuses of being behind Aaron Gordon. Because they're saying how Franz Wagner is worse than him. And I'm like, Franz Wagner.
Time out. There was a joke. I don't know if you posted it or someone did, but someone said that Jonathan Isaac has made more appearances on Fox News.
That was me.
Than on the NBA. I kind of cracked up on that.
Yes. That is true. He has made more appearances on Fox News, which is, I think, 2 or 3. I'm not entirely sure about that. On Fox News than he has on an NBA floor in the last year and a half, essentially. And that is not a typo or a misspoken saying. That is facts. You can look that up, too, if you want. And, yeah, man's been hurt. Man hasn't been he hasn't been playing. And when he does play, he has played good when he was on the court. But this is coming off him now. Two major injuries with his 2 knee injuries that he's had. For a big lengthy guy, that is a big deal. And people are saying how he's not even better than Franz Wagner, who has a legitimate shot to win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. If you look up his numbers and how he's been playing, the man can ball, and I think he might be the second best white guy out there right now. So, I mean, that's saying something. And in my opinion, he is the best German player drafted since Dirk.
Are you talking about in the league, or you're talking about
in the league?
Slow down there. There's some other names in front of him besides Jokic we could talk about for that debate.
Fair enough. But anyway, he is the best German drafted since Dirk. So, Schroeder ain't better than Wagner. Huh?
Derek or Dennis?
Dirk Nowitzki.
You think he's better?
I think he's the second.
Think about
that.
Yes. Right now.
Right now, he is better than Dennis Schroeder. Yeah. The man got 5 steals off of KD, and he just dropped 26 with MB guarding him. So just let that click in your head. And all right, he's on the worst team in the league or whatever, but he has been scoring against when he's a key point of the offense, and defenses are trying to stop him, and they can't stop him once he gets in the paint. So there's that. Coach Mo needs to learn how to do proper rotations and not have your 12th man out there when the other team starters are on the floor, because that's never going to end well. But yeah, my rant is going to come to a close because I already had my mini rant on Jonathan Isaac. At least Markel's going to be about next month or this month. Oh, tomorrow starts December, so this
Klay Thompson, James Wiseman, and Markel Fultz are going to be back, but in the G League just to get their feet wet and get things back in order, make sure their jumpers are falling, so just in case we don't.
Klay already looking smooth.
Just so we don't see Markel Fultz coming back with a broken jumper now. We just don't want that.
Actually, no, his jumper, they had some practice videos.
It was a joke.
No, I'm just saying it has been looking better. When he was in the practice videos they shown, it looking back. It's never gonna probably get back to Washington days, but it looking much better than what it was when he was playing for the Magic in the first season with the Magic. But keep going. Sorry.
I mean, my only concern with Markel Fultz is that he's going to have to compete a lot harder with Cole Anthony now than back then. Like I don't think they could be sharing a court together.
Yeah, they can.
I don't know. I mean,
they're gonna have to work that out. But I mean, if it was me, I mean, let's see. All right, Cole Anthony at 6'3".
I mean, they both could.
Markel's 6'4". And Jalen Suggs is 6'4", 6'5" ish. So I guess you could do a 3-guard line. I'm just trying to see if they could do a 3-guard line.
I mean, I'm just wondering myself how that's going to work. I mean, it's a huge concern for me when they come back. Obviously, like how we all were concerned about the Lakers at one point. But yeah, I'm actually curious how it's going to work. They might just split them off with Cole Anthony on the floor and Marco off, and vice versa. They might do something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're gonna do.
That's the only
they're
gonna
probably split it.
Working, in my point of view.
Well, I mean, Markel is a much better ball handler and a runner of the offense than Cole is. Cole's gonna be a really good shooting guard, but he has shown he can pass the ball. He just can't. He can't manipulate a defense the way how Markel did. But anywho, let's talk about your Lakers, or you want to talk about Kemba?
Let's talk about Kemba Walker first, real quickly.
All right.
What happened?
Hit it.
What happened?
Why are you asking me? I don't have the Knicks sources.
Well, was he playing that bad?
Yeah, he was averaging 11 points and horrible shooting percentages.
11 points on
as a starter.
And the Knicks were laughing about trading for Russell Westbrook because they said that they were going to trade nothing for Russell Westbrook, and that's why you didn't see Westbrook on the Knicks.
Well, I mean, all I got to say is about Kemba Walker is the second point guard who went to Boston and fell off. You know who the first one is. Yeah. You know who the first one is.
You mean the third one? The first one is IT. Second one is arguably Kyrie. Kyrie hasn't been the same.
Well, no, I'm talking about when they got to Boston, they fell off. IT fell off after he left Boston.
That is true.
Kyrie's the first one, though. Yes.
But maybe it's a Boston point guard curse.
I don't
Boston
know.
Point guard curse. It's a Boston curse, guys. It's real. It's definitely.
Who knows? Anywho, all right.
Anyways, let's talk about our boy John Wall. John Wall and the Rockets are working on a way for him to play, so John Wall can increase his value, so he could get traded
to the Knicks.
No, I mean at this point the Knicks might take anyone, for crying out loud.
Yep.
I mean, who knows? I remember for a fact when Rockets fans were swearing that John Wall was better than Westbrook at one point, and they swore they wanted to trade with Washington, and look at how that ended up. I feel bad for John Wall, though. I really do. But
John Wall?
But I mean, to be fair, I mean, John Wall has been a great mentor for Jalen Green. It looks like he's been showing Jalen Green how it's done and stuff. Now we know Jalen Green has been struggling a little bit.
No, Jalen Green ain't on the same level as Kentucky John Wall.
Let's slow down there a bit, all right? Let's slow down.
I'm talking about right now.
So let's slow down, all right? It's still early.
I mean, John Wall's still cooking them on one-on-ones. Torn Achilles, torn ACL, torn everything.
And he's still cooking him. I mean, that's not a good sign.
Well, that's just saying how bad his defense is. Anywho's, you were talking about John Wall being better than Westbrook with those Rocket fans. Let's get into this. Let's talk about these Lakers.
Rockets fans were swearing that last year.
All right. Anywho, let's talk about this Westbrook and the Lakers. LeBron's already out for COVID.
Well, so actually, let me finish up my statement.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're jumping on me there, Ace. I'm just trying to say something. So, as we know, I think, though, with Rockets fans, I don't think it's entirely Rockets fans that hate Westbrook now. It appears, as we all see a bit more now, I think it's more of James Harden's fans that have issue with Westbrook for whatever it was. Because lately, I've been seeing a lot of people rooting for Westbrook lately, whether it's from Wizards fans or Rockets fans. Obviously, old Thunder fans as well, because Russell Westbrook is like everyone from Oklahoma City loves Westbrook unless they're just a delusional.
Shai Gilgeous coming for him.
Shai Gilgeous is not going to be better than Westbrook all time in Oklahoma City. All right, it's not happening. Yes, you can look at me like that, all right, but Shai Gilgeous will not have a career better than Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma. He could be there, but I don't think he's going to eclipse Russell Westbrook, all right? He could get close, but it's a very difficult thing to do.
All right.
Anyways, let's talk about Russell Westbrook on these Lakers. Russell Westbrook lately, ever since the fight with LeBron and
Isaiah Stewart,
he has been on a tear lately. His numbers look good. I think he's been averaging like 25 a game at least.
26 and a half.
20. That's even better. 26. I think like 9 assists, 8 assists, somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that.
And then I think about 10 boards.
I have no idea how many rebounds he's averaging. I know it's a crazy amount, but yeah, he's been on fire these last couple of days. Couple games.
And he's been shooting like 50% field goal as well. So
yeah,
it's a good look for Westbrook.
Except the fact that they were struggling against the Pistons when him, LeBron, and AD were had 82 points combined, and they were struggling to beat the Pistons.
It's not the players' fault, all right. And I'm gonna say this again.
Oh, I know.
The Lakers need to have their eyes pointed at Frank Vogel, all right. Everyone needs to have their eyes pointed at Frank Vogel and light his seat on fire, because he should be on fire. He should be gone at this point.
All right, I'm gonna do a rapid fire. I'm gonna do a rapid fire. Hurry up and finish.
Quickly, all right, let me speed this up. They need to hurry up, get Vogel out of there, because Russell Westbrook and LeBron James are on a ticking clock on age. Get them out.
All right, rapid fire here. Jokic Bros lit up Miami. They got lit in the club, and they lit up the Heat on the floor. And just to rile up Udonis Haslem, who said that was never going to happen, but it did. And they own Miami right now. Boogie Cousins heading to Milwaukee on a non-guaranteed one-year deal. That's going to be fun to watch. More valued than DeAndre Jordan. Michael Porter Jr. is back back has shown up again. He's got back surgery and is out for the year. And the reason why he fell in the draft instead, Nuggets said,
overpaid.
"Oh yeah, he's big time overpaid right now."
Guys. He's overpaid.
Yep.
It's not hate on Michael Porter, by the way. It's just.
Yep. LeBron wants to buy a basketball team, and LaMelo played against Lonzo, and it was an interesting game. LaMelo said that when he retires, he's gonna become a ref just to show the rest how to ref.
Make sure he gets some cataract surgery just in case he gets blind.
Yep. All right. J Peeps, you heading in for this college football?
J Peeps, come on in.
All right, there's the man. Put on your light. Come on.
My light is on.
Introduce yourself. Say hi to everyone.
All right. Hi guys. How have you been? It's been since Saturday since we all got to talk to each other. Let me move my camera. Let me move my light a little bit closer so I can make Flash and Ace a little bit happier. I don't want them to get upset.
He was complaining about.
No, I just I couldn't even. I don't know. My whole screen looks dark even though I have the brightness up. So that's why I was like,
oh my god,
what the hell's going on?
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. All right.
I wouldn't like Ace when he's angry. He'll turn green on me.
Anywho, let's talk about these college coaches on.
No, let's do it, JP. I want to talk about some stuff that went down in the FAMU's Southeastern Louisiana game. JP, you want to talk about this? Let's
talk about it.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it was terrible.
I heard some messed up stuff that went on.
There's a reason I don't respond to Southeastern Louisiana fans, honestly, that had stuff to say after the game and stuff that just wanted to talk basic football. But after what I heard, I was like, I'm not even going to entertain these people. Because I usually try to interact with folks, but when I see racism, I tend to just leave that alone and stuff because it has no place in this world. But I mean, honestly,
especially doesn't have no place in sports.
Exactly. I mean, then you look on here. Oh my gosh, did I start the timer yet for this quarter? All right, here we go. It's better now.
But yeah, we'll run over. It's all right.
If you look at the Tallahassee Democrat and what they said, it goes as follows as I read this. So basically saying by the start of the first quarter, Southeast Louisiana fans were holding up signs with crude messages. Some fans uttered the N-word to the players. The large contingent of Rattler fans, most traveling to Hammond in personal vehicles, refrained from responding as long as they could. Most FAMU fans felt this was far beyond the unusual spirited back and forth trash talking between opposing fans. During halftime, when many were taking a restroom break and patronizing the concession stand, a beer can apparently hurled from the Southeastern Louisiana student section into the FAMU crowd struck a child in the face, bloodying his nose. The child was trembling. That's from the Tallahassee Democrat. And then
that is no place for a college football game, by the way. That is no place.
That's even no place in the world, man. That's not just football.
Well, especially for
let Jordan talk. Let JP talk, man.
There is more. Honestly, too, this is the part that's pretty disturbing from an anonymous source. That was actually there. This source actually states there was one young lady with braids who kept telling the older couple to suck her, and did the motion as if she was whacking off. And I think some of you know what whacking off is. Whacking off and throwing it in their face. The old man had enough, but the fans would not allow him to make his way over there. It was inches away from being a real issue, but I think all the Rattler fans knew that if it had went down like it needed to, it would have been a bad look for the school. So they just chilled and tried. It was the classier bunch. Yeah, it's crazy. And then there's so many more fan accounts, honestly, that go on to state just, the disgustingness that it ensued. Because, honestly, there are people out here that say, Southeastern Louisiana's athletic department, marketing department is going to look into this and do a thorough investigation. There's no thorough investigation that you can do. We've got sources that work in Tallahassee. I'm not going to name those sources either, that were outside of the stadium and were bashed with a lot of negativity by the Southeastern Louisiana fan base. It is very disgusting. And then honestly, I love the fact that a lot of these FAMU fans on here that have been on Twitter reacting and defending each other. Because honestly, I mean, one that I won't state the name of, trying to say, because there are some Louisiana faithful, McNeese State people they're in the same conference as Southeast Louisiana. They're trying to say, how does a kid get hit in the face with a beer can and no one gets arrested? I mean, obviously, you've never been to a Bucks game before. You've never been to an NFL game in general before. But, I mean, honestly, you have people coming back and saying, how are you going to assume that did you actually have to get in a physical fist fight to actually see that happen and everything like that? But, I mean, it has no home. Again, I mean, fan bases all over the place. There's bad fan bases everywhere. There's bad people everywhere. I mean, look, I went to Florida State and Ole Miss in 2016, and there was a fight that broke out there. And then not long after that, someone threw up on somebody. So, I mean, it's bad fan bases everywhere, but I can honestly say in all my years, in 23 years, I'm 24, 23 years of going to FAMU games, I've never seen any type of conduction from an opposing team like that before. And I can honestly say, I think for starters, I think they didn't want FAMU in there to begin with. So they kind of put them on the road against a team that was very powerful. But I can say, honestly, I think if this game, and I told Hendricks this too earlier today, if this game had been played in Tallahassee, the outcome of all of these altercations would have been very much different. Because you weren't going to come into Bragg and with that type of attitude. You would not have made it out. You wouldn't have made it off the campus probably without.
Probably wouldn't have made it out of the stadium.
Not out of the stadium.
Exactly. But I mean, that's all I got. I'm not going to keep talking, but yeah.
It's shameful that stuff like that still happens to this day, even after all these protests and stuff going on. I guess there needs to be a light that needs to be shining a bit brighter. I don't know what else we need.
Dude, I can tell you that from what I've heard, him in Louisiana is one of those one stop sign, one traffic light towns. When the game ends, the town shuts down. Everybody gets out, and that's much like Starkville and much like Oxford for the most part. So that tells you what you need to know.
To be honest, I never even heard about this school until they said fan. So
I never heard of this school either.
They got, I don't even know, but that's just pathetic, disgusting, and inexcusable.
The fact that it's a one traffic light town. I mean, that probably says everything you need to know about that town.
I mean, I will say too, that's a testament to your guys' age too. You guys didn't grow up playing the PlayStation 2 because Southeast Louisiana was on there in the old NCAA games when NCAA had FCS schools. So I mean, it's a testament to your age, but it's okay.
I mean, what am I gonna do about that? I can't change my age, but right. I mean,
you can at least go buy a PlayStation 2. Like I told you to go out and go subscribe to ESPN Plus and treat yourself to a good time.
Anywho,
right. let's talk about treating yourself to a good time.
FBS quality stuff, all right?
Now, let's talk about treating. No, hey, flash. We're going to talk about treating yourself to a good time. Let's talk about what Lincoln Riley got, man. Holy shit, what the hell this man?
I guess we're going to be talking about coaches first, all right? Let's talk about coaches. So
let's talk about these coaches, man. Holy crap, musical chairs and bags secured.
All the stuff that had happened within the last 48 hours. Let us talk about this. Lincoln Riley heads to University of Southern California trying to fix a dumpster fire. You think he could do that?
It's possible, honestly.
It's possible.
You'll get the recruits for it.
Look at his recruits that are probably going to
from California.
The funny thing about it is he said he told the Oklahoma players this, like literally just a few weeks ago, that I want to make Oklahoma the mecca of college football. Which honestly, you're not going to do that so long as Nick Saban's in Tuscaloosa. And now he's telling his players this in Los Angeles, but still, so long as Nick Saban
is around.
Yeah, as in Tuscaloosa, it ain't happening. Because I mean, honestly,
well, I mean, to be honest though, I mean, when Oklahoma does get to the SEC, isn't Alabama and Auburn going to be moved to the SEC East and they'll be in the SEC?
No,
West?
but the mecca of college football. That means one spot anywhere, no matter conference and whatever.
Exactly.
It still would be Alabama, no matter what.
Thank you, Ace.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it's not gonna. I don't think this. It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good hire. USC is going to be a lot better. USC is gonna have a heck of an offense again, and everything.
USC
like
might
that.
be top 10 in a few years.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
top
I mean,
5.
definitely.
They won't they won't win a playoff probably, but a championship.
I'm gonna do a testament again to our age, and I'm gonna mess with Ace again because I like to mess with Ace. Flash, you might remember, but it was
USC in a prime used to be good.
It seemed like honestly,
What we talking like 2005?
Before that and a little bit after that too, it seemed like every year USC was always a lock for the Rose Bowl. To be honest,
Well, yeah, I'm talking about like the last 10, 15 years though. They haven't been good.
They haven't. I think the year that they had Adoree Jackson and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Adoree Jackson. That was a solid year too. They just got outshined.
But yeah, I think Juju was on that team. They had a bunch of NFL players.
No, not Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, it was Adoree Jackson. They had Adoree Jackson, Sam Darnold.
And Juju on the same year.
Yeah,
I know Adoree.
Yeah.
They
yeah, it's been like 2016 or something.
They ended up making the Rose Bowl and they played Penn State. Chris Godwin and Penn State and Trace McSorley. I think.
Yeah, it was in 2016, 2017.
I do not know why I completely did not know that Juju's missed.
Yeah, I remember that game, Jordan.
I think that
was
was
2016.
That was the last.
I remember Washington with Vita Veda and John Ross and those boys.
But see, the thing is New Year's Day, the Rose Bowl specifically was reserved for USC during the BCS era. Now with Lincoln Riley, you might be getting that back, honestly. Because I mean, look, they're going to lose maybe 1 or 2 games because I don't think you're going to get the dogs at USC that you were getting at Oklahoma. But I mean, it's very much possible when the Rose Bowl is not a playoff site, you can expect USC to be a lock for the Rose Bowl almost once again, kind of like really how Oregon has been and how Washington has been for the past few years.
Well, not Washington right now.
Washington has probably one of the worst falls I ever seen this season, and I should have known that fall would have started in the beginning of the season when they lost to Montana.
I mean, honestly, you surprised they let Washington State beat them in the Apple Cup, which really never happens.
That never happens.
That is
arguably one of the worst things I ever seen.
So I mean, it's
one of the worst falls. But they fell harder than USF when USF lost Quentin Flowers.
I mean, that was a big fall.
Yeah,
that was a big fall.
Yeah, University of Washington looks like they're going to have to.
Yes, this is the one.
Find a new coach.
Flash had his questions about it, and I have some
let's
answers.
talk about Brian Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think about Brian Kelly on how he handled leaving Notre Dame to go to
I got no issue of how he left Notre Dame.
I have no problem with it either. I
have more problem with Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, but Lincoln Riley actually, I have zero problem. The man got $110 million, 2 houses bought out, $6 million house and a plane, essentially.
I was gonna say, does Lincoln Riley have someone to wipe his ass for him and cook his food for him too?
Probably.
I have no issue with Lincoln Riley if you're getting unlimited use of a private plane to go and scout out your players or do.
All right, but what's your issue with Brian Kelly? And you have some questions. Let's answer them.
I
like it.
You like Brian Kelly? I'm kind of suspect about Brian Kelly a little bit for what LSU.
I had to think about it.
It's honestly,
because if he's gonna give LSU Notre Dame results,
he ain't gonna give Notre Dame results. It's 2 different talent pools.
Yeah, it's very different.
It's 2 different type of play and 2 different type of talent pools.
Yeah,
you're gonna see.
Louisiana's is a more talent-rich state, so he'll be able to get more talent. The question really is LSU's lacked in the consistency at the quarterback spot. So they have a guy coming in. I like Max Johnson. Make no mistake, I like Max Johnson.
Oh no, he's garbage. You ask any LSU fan, they'll say he is straight up garbage.
he is kind of.
He is garbage.
I've seen the man play. He's very suspect.
Honestly, he's not his daddy, of course, but I mean,
he might be worse.
They got Walker Howard coming in. I know that.
Look, they've been see. So the thing is consistent quarterback play for LSU, and who can get quarterbacks? Brian Kelly can get quarterbacks. The rest of they just need all the other start. That piece needs to fall in line with the rest of what they have. LSU's had some very good teams over the years. They just haven't had consistent quarterback play, and the stars just happen to align
when Joe Burrow showed up.
Exactly, because I mean, look, they were what they averaged.
That LSU team with Joe Burrow was
to be fair, the guys on that LSU team, man, they got some studs in the NFL now from that
Exactly.
team.
I mean, LSU always puts up studs.
That's what
they're gonna get studs.
LSU is probably that LSU team might be one of the best in recent history.
My one question with that Brian Kelly hire is if they didn't ask the Mannings about it before they did it.
I mean, honestly, like, look, LSU had Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry,
Tyrann. Well, no, Tyrann wasn't on that team.
Honey Badger.
Yeah, no, I think they had Tyrann Mathieu too. That was 2011.
Honey Badger, yes.
Yeah, but okay, that would have been Tyrann. Would have been old.
He was gone. Yeah,
he was gone.
I think they had like a young Tre'Davious White. Like they've had good teams. It's just they have, and then they had Devin White too. That was young, coming behind Quan Alexander. Like they've had good teams.
Y'all are forgetting about Leonard Fournette too.
And Leonard Fournette, they had a good team.
Leonard Fournette was an animal in college.
They've always got good talent. It's just their coaching staff's been not the coaching staff. The coordinators have been sometimes sketchy, and the quarterback play has been sketchy.
They've been lacking in that one position. You get a consistent quarterback on some of those LSU teams. Some of those LSU teams in close games probably beats Alabama.
I mean, look at this year. Max Johnson kind of fumbled it all away on the last drive for them. So
yeah.
But
I will say that last game against Texas A&M, he showed his behind.
They played good. I think they played for Coach O. They really did play it for Coach O.
So I mean,
that effort against A&M was all for Coach O. I mean,
it'll get better. And then honestly, too, if he's still around when
there's a 10-year deal though.
He's gonna be around when he's still in the West when Texas and Oklahoma come over. LSU
might be easy for him.
LSU and Texas A&M is gonna be a toss up for that Western Division when Alabama and Auburn moves to the East.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
And also remember this, Flash. They did keep some of Orgeron's staff, but he's going after he's trying to bring over his Notre Dame coordinators, but he's keeping some of the positional coaches from Orgeron's staff for some of the recruits.
Yeah,
because one of the recruits, so they didn't lose him, like how Oklahoma lost Malachi Nelson. They're trying to keep some of the coaches to keep the recruits happy.
See, Oklahoma's mistake is this. They got too comfortable with a lot of those guys and figured they were going to stick around for a long time. And now everybody's booking it, and Oklahoma's probably going to go through the same thing Florida State went through because the cupboard is dry. It's drying up fast at Oklahoma.
Ever since Lincoln Riley left, everything is running away fast.
And it's only been it happened
48 hours.
Exactly. It's only been 48
Caleb Williams is a quarterback name, correct? I don't want to mess that up.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb Williams might be in the transfer portal soon enough.
Exactly. Spencer Rattler's already there.
Spencer Rattler, we already knew was gone. I mean, at that point, with how bad
I wouldn't even touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Starting job.
But there is a name.
Let's talk about.
There is a name though. If you're Oklahoma, to keep an eye on, Brent Venables.
You think they're going to poach him from Clemson?
Bring defense to the Big 12. Never say never.
Just bring a good offense coordinator with you.
But I mean, look at the progress USF has made right now. I mean, it's been a slow progress. You think Oklahoma could use something like that from a Clemson?
I'm surprised they didn't go after Venables. They went after Scott instead.
USF.
Well, Venables would probably would have. Oklahoma's got a bigger draw for Brett Venables than USF would have with a young Jeff Scott anyway. So,
but yeah.
Anywho, let's talk about the other coaching hire. Kind of running over anyway. Talk about the Napier.
What you're about to say, I want to hear what you want to say. What you're about to say, Peeps. Just now.
He's like, what?
Yeah, no, I was well. I mean, I will say I like the Billy Napier hire. I kind of expected it to happen
I expected
eventually
that one as well.
because I mean, honestly, Florida needed somebody that was structured and like attention to detail and that had a plan and everything. So I mean, someone that wasn't like Jim McElwain or like Dan Mullen. I mean, tried to tell a lot of people Dan wasn't the man. Nobody wanted to listen. And a lot of people in Starkville tried to say it too. Dan is not the man. Nobody wanted to listen. And you got the results you got. But Billy Napier, I think he's going to be more attention to detail and stuff. He's coming along at a time when Florida really needs somebody to look to. Florida wants to be what Georgia is and where Alabama is and where Texas A&M is right now. If he can do it, it's possible. Because, I mean, honestly,
I want to know how Florida could fare with the well, I mean, Florida does have some time before Alabama and Auburn moves to SEC East, but I wonder how they could fare in that.
It's going to be even tougher to recruit.
That's what I'm saying.
So Billy Napier needs to have a plan for like the next 10 years of what he wants this to look like.
Yeah,
I'm surprised no one tried going after Luke Fickell.
It's going to be some time because we already have Alabama.
He wants the Ohio State job. I really feel like
he ain't gonna get it. Ryan, unless Ryan Day goes to the NFL, you're not touching Ohio State.
Oh yeah, no, you're not. Luke Fickell, that's what he wants.
Who's Fickell?
That's Cincinnati's head coach.
His coach. That's what he wants, but he's not. I don't think he's gonna get it.
I think right now, I think his best bet is probably to stay in Cincinnati when they move to
exactly.
12.
He needs to
at that point, yeah, but
he should stay in Cincinnati.
Luke Fickell is doing exactly what Scott Frost should have done with UCF and stayed. Scott Frost should have stayed in Orlando. Luke Fickell's doing the smart thing and staying right where he is until something better comes along, something a lot better.
I don't know. I never understood why he went running to Nebraska.
Because he went to Nebraska. That's why.
I know, but still, like that's not a better. Nebraska is not as talent rich as Florida is
than UCF.
I'm saying Nebraska ain't talent rich as Florida is.
Nebraska's not. It's really not. Nebraska will never be what they were before because of they have too much turnover too quick, too many times. Nebraska will never be what they once were. Those Nebraska teams, honestly, those were some of probably the best teams to ever play college football, and they will never get that back again. Nebraska, Tom Osborne used to recruit Florida about as hard as Bobby Bowden and Steve Spurrier. They got.
We need to do something for Hendricks. And you know what that is?
Guys, we need to talk about rival week in the rankings too. So let's not.
We need to talk about this team with some blue and some yellow and a head coach alive and well.
And a number 2 ranking.
And a number 2 ranking.
You know what? I was kind of skeptical of that number 2 ranking, but you know what? I gave it some thought. They kind of earned it. They deserve that number 2 ranking over Alabama.
They embarrassed themselves against Michigan State, who embarrassed themselves against Ohio State, and then Ohio State embarrassed themselves against Michigan. So I guess it's one big happy circle in the Big Ten, but still, they earned it nonetheless because they whooped Ohio State's behind. So,
yeah. I mean, congratulations for Jim
first
Harbaugh.
Time
Die trying and actually getting the job done. I saw the game. Michigan played more physical. They played better. They executed better. And Ohio State could not catch a ball for their life.
Now, see, someone said, remember what happened the last time Michigan was ranked number 2 in the country. Michigan better not blow this.
Well, I mean, hey, you know what?
They better not go choking.
My prediction past SEC. Past championship weekend is number 3 Cincinnati. When championship weekend passes, Cincinnati is going to be number 3, and I think Cincinnati may have a decent chance at taking out Michigan.
If Michigan does take care of the business against Iowa, with that Big Ten being up and down as it is, I won't be surprised if Iowa gets them.
Michigan is going to take care of a team like
just make sure they don't have a hangover. That's one thing. That's one thing they should better hope they don't have.
If Michigan lose that game to Iowa, it's more of a choke.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they better not go with a hangover.
But honestly, I feel like a lot of people would just be okay. They would get over that eventually, but they'd be like, hey, you know what? Like as much as pissed off as we all are, hell, we beat Ohio State.
That is true. First time on a
Let's ask
4K
Hendrix one
TV.
time. We'll ask him sometime for sure.
All right, let's do
We
the
got other rival games to talk about as well. Florida
Wait.
FSU. Florida took out FSU like it was nothing because Jordan Travis got hurt and FSU looked like they were a complete mess and their DBs couldn't stop Florida for crap. And Florida looked like they were much more willed than FSU. USF UCF game was a good game at the end, but some people had some questions about the ending as well. Peeps, I know you agree with that particular call. Ace, not so much. I personally don't completely agree with the call, but
well, I kind of said the way. Remember, J Peeps, I said this on Run and Gun. I was like, I won't be surprised if they so inexperienced they're gonna find a way to blow the fourth quarter. And what do you know? They found a way to blow the last minute, essentially.
Dude, he should have just thrown the ball away.
Mm-hmm.
He should have thrown the ball away.
If he just took the intentional grounding, it wouldn't have ended the game. He would have been fine.
No, it would have still caused a 2-minute runoff. Or a 10-second runoff map.
No, but if he threw it out of bounds before he was sacked, instead of trying to dance around,
oh yeah,
he would have probably had like 1 second.
He would have had at least 4 seconds to work with. He would have had time to call like another play.
Yeah, he would have still had to play instead of that fiasco.
That's freshman under center in a rivalry game. So
well, yeah.
All right. Let's talk about that Auburn-Alabama game. What y'all think about that?
Auburn's Auburn. I mean, I don't know what happened to Bo Nix because I don't think he closed the game out. It was the other guy, TJ Finley, I think it was.
Bo Nix has been out for the season.
Yeah.
He's been out for the season since.
I think it was Finley or somebody.
It's funny because he was talking a lot of trash about Alabama getting all the calls and stuff, but yet he couldn't even be on the field to back up his own talk. I can guarantee you, if he had actually started that game wouldn't have gone to 4 overtimes. That game would have been over in regulation.
For which team?
Alabama winning. It would have been over in regulation. I can guarantee you.
Well, I don't think the quarterback has to do with only having 3 points into the fourth quarter.
He's already considering hopping in the portal.
Everybody's hopping into the portal at this point.
All right, 2 more things I want to talk about, guys, before we wrap this up. Let's talk. I want you guys' opinion about the college football playoff rankings and what to expect. I already give my take already about college football playoff rankings, but I want you guys' take about it.
Alabama, if they lose, it's going to be out. Oklahoma State's going to win. They get in. It will be 3.
I mean, I'm cool with it. If Alabama
it's fine right now.
If Alabama wins, the SEC gets 2. I think Cincinnati's definitely a lock. I think Michigan's definitely a lock if they win. If Cincinnati loses to Houston, Oklahoma State's in. If Michigan loses,
if Cincinnati and Alabama loses, what happens?
If Cincinnati and Alabama
then
loses,
that means Notre Dame gets in.
Notre Dame and Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State will get in.
Yeah.
As much raw as Notre Dame.
That would be that won't even be good for ratings. So I don't think that will happen.
I think that'll be a bad look on Cincinnati. Even though Cincinnati loss should look worse.
Look how it froze on his face.
They won't drop him down like that. So
I think that you would get Georgia and Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, and then you would get Oklahoma State and Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl if that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, my ideal situation, if you are people that are supporting for Power 6 routing and all that crap, Power 6 and all that, your best bet is Cincinnati at 3 taking on Michigan, because that's Cincinnati's best way into getting a national championship game with Georgia.
That'd be a good game, Michigan Cincinnati. That'd be a good game.
Yeah.
Cincinnati also has a solid chance of winning that game too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
One last thing before we go.
One second,
we need to talk about this.
Hey, 1 second.
No,
I mean, people. I need to say this quickly. People are underestimating Cincinnati too much just because they're not in Power 5. They are underestimating them, and it's kind of sad into the Power 5 bias. That's why I'm rooting for Cincinnati a little bit more than normal. One more thing. We want to talk about a certain name that we were talking about earlier in our group chat.
Yes, that's what I was trying to do.
Sean
Pickens. You're talking about Shivers. I'm talking about George Pickens.
Well, George Pickens is going to make Georgia going to beat Alabama. Let's leave it as that.
Well, we were talking about 2 names in the group chat, so I'm just kind of confused on who we were going to talk about. JP's talked. I'm confused already as well, so don't even worry.
I'm not confused. He said one more thing, and then he said two more things.
Oh yeah, that's
he said two more things.
I didn't say two more things.
All right, Ace, wrap this up because I'm about.
No, I just want to talk about George Pickens coming back from an ACL that he tore in March.
George Pickens is going to make Georgia be untouchable.
We know
right?
that.
Well, then just leave it as that.
Why are you so mad?
Erica,
let's wrap this up,
that is all
man.
for tonight's episode.
Oh my god.
Ace is losing his crap. So thank you all for coming out tonight. It was a great episode overall. As I said before, be a friend, tell a friend, and like, share, subscribe, and we will keep delivering the goods for you guys. All right. I like to
just remember
JP for coming out tonight for explaining his point of view over that hideous game that happened in Louisiana. That fan base should be ashamed, and it should be, yeah.
All right, Mr. Mini Stephen A. Smith, you done?
I know someone's mad.
No, I'm just making sure you're done. I was just gonna say, make sure you guys remember no running gun tomorrow at 8. So don't even try refreshing the YouTube page trying to figure out why it's not there. And then I don't think JP's. I don't know if he's gonna do any videos. If he's gonna do college football breakdown since no FAMU games anymore. I don't know what he's planning on that. We'll figure something out maybe. We'll just probably stick with last year for the month.
Yeah, no, we're done. It's unfortunate it came to an end. I really wanted to see FAMU and James Madison play, but it's what's done is done. We're done for the year. Thank you everybody for tuning into that. That was fantastic. We'll be back next season though, kicking off with UNC week 0, and then down to Miami for the Orange Blossom Classic again for a rematch against Jackson State. So it's all fun.
I think I got my first FAMU game wrong this week. That was the first game I picked wrong.
It was.
I had every game right for them this season.
It was. And we're going to find a way to get both of these guys to
a game. We have to go to the game. A game
whether
somewhere.
It be the Orange Blossom Classic, although I don't know if one of these guys can handle Miami. We'll find a way to get both of these guys to homecoming or even the Classic. Miami question though, because I don't know who here can handle Miami out of these two, but we'll see. But folks, yeah, that's going to do it for us. We hope you've enjoyed.
Have a blessed week, you all.
Yes, take care.